A woman's life ends when she gets married. That's what they said. That's what they believed. But darling, let me tell you this. A woman's life doesn't end when she gets married. It ends when she stops dreaming. It ends when she lets society dictate her identity. And if marriage is the death of her ambition, then that's not marriage. That's a cage. Ladies, this is not a hate speech on marriage. This is a wake-up call. Marriage should be a celebration, not a funeral of your identity. You were born with wings. You weren't created to only cook, clean, and carry babies. You were born to lead, to love, to rise, and to leave behind a legacy, not just a surname. She wakes up before everyone else, makes breakfast, packs the lunch boxes, cleans up the mess no one notices, and then heads off to work like a silent warrior. She smiles, she nods, she listens, but somewhere between the noise of expectations and the silence of her own desires, she forgets what her own voice sounds like, and the world claps for her sacrifice like it's the ultimate symbol of love. But what if I told you, love that silences you isn't love. It's quiet domination dressed in roses. Let's be real. From the moment we're little girls, we're told to lower our voice, sit pretty, not argue, not challenge, not question. Don't be too loud, it's not ladylike. Don't be too ambitious, men don't like that. Don't make him feel small. And so we shrink. We dim our light so someone else can shine brighter. But how is that love? Love, real love, is never threatened by your fire. It doesn't ask you to become less. It doesn't mute your roar to protect its own ego. If someone loves you, they'll fan your flames, not extinguish them. They'll lift your crown when it slips, not laugh when it falls. Think of Maya, a brilliant architect who once dreamed of designing cities that breathe art. She marries a man who says he supports her, but slowly, subtly, he begins to suggest she shouldn't take up those late-night projects, that she's too invested in her work, that maybe it's time to think of family more than blueprints. And out of love, she agrees. One no at a time, her voice is erased. Until one day she's looking at her reflection and doesn't recognize the woman staring back. That is not partnership, that is not support. That's a beautiful cage built from guilt. And what's even more heartbreaking, she's not alone. So many women are silenced softly. Not with fists, but with emotional manipulation. Not with shouting, but with sugar-coated control. I love you, but I just worry. I love you, I'm just trying to protect you. Love doesn't feel like a leash. Love doesn't come with a muzzle. You want an example of empowering love? Look at the woman who said, I want to start my own business. And her partner didn't say, that's risky, but said, tell me how I can help. Look at the couple where she wins the award and he's in the crowd screaming louder than anyone. Look at the man who says, I love your strength. I love that you challenge me. I love that you don't shrink for anyone, not even me. That's the kind of love that doesn't get intimidated by your glow. It becomes part of your spotlight. It celebrates your wins as if they were his own. It doesn't define your worth by how well you obey. It defines it by how authentically you live. You are not here to be silenced. You are not here to be small. You are not here to play a supporting role in someone else's story while yours goes unwritten. Your voice matters. Your dreams matter. And listen, this doesn't mean love has to be war. It means love has to be real, respectful, aligned, two people walking side by side, not one dragging the other behind. Real love won't fear your independence. Real love won't punish you for evolving. Real love won't make you choose between your heart and your voice. You were not created to whisper through life. You were created to make noise, to lead movements, to shift mindsets, to speak healing, to raise empires, to ignite revolutions. Love should never be the reason you stop. It should be the fuel that makes you go even further. So the next time someone tells you if you loved me, you'd stop. Ask yourself, is this love? Or is this control dressed in care? Because a partner who truly loves you will never be afraid of your voice. They'll be afraid of a world that tries to take it from you. A woman's voice is not just sound, it's her identity, her truth, her weapon, her music, her magic. And the moment she's asked to silence it for the sake of love, that love becomes a lie. She was always told to dream, but only within a boundary. Don't dream too big or you'll be disappointed. Yes, you can have a career, but don't forget your real duty is to be a good wife and a good mother. And so her dreams sat politely at the back of the room, quiet and obedient, while everyone else took their place at the table. Her husband's job, priority. Her kids' dreams, non-negotiable. Her in-laws' comfort, mandatory. Her own dreams, optional, if there's time. But here's the truth. Your dreams are not a luxury. They are your birthright. They deserve a seat at the damn table. Imagine a dinner table where decisions are made, opportunities are served, and futures are discussed. Now imagine you're there, but only to serve the food, pour the drinks, smile in the background. You're not invited to speak. You're not even asked what you'd like on your plate. That's what so many women go through every single day. Existing in a life they help build, but being denied a voice in shaping it. It's not always loud, it's not always violent. Sometimes it's just tradition. Sometimes it's just silence, but it's still erasure. Think about Rina. She always wanted to be a filmmaker, not a casual interest, a real obsession. She would stay up nights watching interviews of legendary directors, scribbling storyboards, writing screenplays in her old notebooks. She got married. Her husband said, "I support you," until it wasn't practical, until his career needed priority, until her passion became a hobby, something to do when the chores are done, when the baby's asleep, when no one else needs anything. She didn't stop dreaming. But her dreams were pushed into a dusty corner while life marched on. And that's what society tells so many women. You can have dreams, but don't let them interfere with your responsibilities. And by responsibilities, they always mean someone else's comfort. But let's be crystal clear. Your dreams are not selfish. Your ambition is not a threat. Your goals are not something to apologize for. You know what's truly powerful? A woman who shows up for her family and herself. A woman who doesn't wait for permission to dream out loud. A woman who builds a life where she gets to sit at the table. Not just to support, not just to clap, but to speak, to lead, to choose. A woman who looks her partner in the eye and says, "I love you, but I will not shrink myself for you. I have a vision too." It's not about choosing between love and purpose. It's about demanding a life where both can exist. Where a woman can be soft and strong, nurturing and ambitious, a giver and a goal-getter. It's about redefining balance, not as sacrifice, but as shared space. There's this unspoken rule that women should adjust, adapt, compromise. And we do. Every single day we bend ourselves into shapes just to make everyone around us feel comfortable. But the moment we say, "I have a dream and I'm going after it," suddenly we're labeled difficult, arrogant, too ambitious. But let me ask you, why is a woman's fire seen as danger while a man's is seen as drive? Let's flip that narrative. Let's celebrate the woman who wakes up at 5 a.m. not just to cook breakfast, but to build her empire. The woman who joins meetings with a toddler on her hip and strategy on her lips. The woman who opens her laptop after everyone sleeps because her dreams matter and she refuses to betray them. That's not weakness. That's not disobedience. That's divine strength. Your dream doesn't have to be huge or famous. It could be starting a bakery, writing a book, opening a dance studio, running a non-profit, becoming a lawyer, designing clothes, traveling the world, or simply having a voice that gets heard in the decisions that shape your life. Whatever it is, it deserves a place at your table. Not later, not someday, now. And if someone can't respect that, if they only love you when you're quiet, small, and convenient, then they don't love you, they love your silence. Because the woman who dares to dream, the woman who demands a seat, she changes everything. She raises daughters who know they can lead. She inspires friends to finally take that first step. She builds a world where women are not accessories to men's ambitions, but leaders of their own legacy. All because she refused to treat her dream like a side dish. So when you sit at that table, don't sit small, sit bold, speak loud, take up space. Bring your ideas, your desires, your plans. You don't need to ask for a chair anymore, you are the table. She walks into a room with her head held high, decisions sharp as diamonds, an energy that says, I know who I am. And instantly someone whispers, too much. Someone labels her difficult. Someone says, she doesn't respect her husband. And all because she dared to think for herself. Because she dared to be independent. But here's what the world needs to hear. A woman who stands tall doesn't disrespect anyone. She just refuses to kneel. Independence is not rebellion. It's not arrogance. It's not coldness. It is knowing your worth so deeply that you don't have to beg to be valued. It's being able to say, I got this, without apologizing. But society has a funny way of flipping that power. The moment a woman says, I can pay my bills, I don't need permission, or I choose what's right for me, suddenly she's labeled heartless, rude, or dangerous. Let me ask you, why is it that when a man is independent, he's admired? But when a woman is, she's accused of being out of control? Think of Ayesha. Married young, soft-spoken, always did what was expected, but she always had a fire, a plan, to open her own fashion boutique. She starts saving in secret, wakes up early, studies trends, learns business on YouTube. Years later, she finally opens a tiny store. The community loves it. Her husband, though, he doesn't clap. He complains. How shrill you becoming? You're becoming too career-focused. Are you trying to outshine me? Her success becomes a threat not because she's disrespectful, but because she stopped needing validation. And the world saw her independence as defiance. But let's be real. Respect doesn't mean silence. Respect doesn't mean waiting for someone else to make every decision for you. True respect is mutual. It means both people can breathe in the relationship without suffocating the other. It means I don't have to be small for you to feel big. It means I can grow, build, succeed, and still honor love, still honor a connection. There's nothing more graceful than a woman who can stand on her own but chooses to love anyway. She's not there because she has to be. She's there because she wants to be. And that is the most powerful kind of love. Voluntary, freely given, not forced, not obligated. A woman who is independent doesn't disrespect tradition. She redefines it. She says, yes, I can be a wife, a mother, a daughter, but I can also be a leader, an innovator, a visionary. She brings her own money to the table, not to boast, but so she can eat with dignity. She makes her own choices, not to argue, but to live truthfully. She sets boundaries, not to create distance, but to protect her peace. And if you still think independence is an insult, let me show you the beauty in it. Independence is the single mother who raises 3 kids with love and strength, never letting them feel what they lack. Independence is the woman who walks away from a toxic marriage with nothing but her self-respect and rebuilds from the ground up. Independence is the girl who says no to a comfortable life of luxury if it means losing her voice. Independence is waking up to your own power and refusing to unsee it. A man who truly loves a strong woman will never be intimidated by her independence. In fact, he'll be proud. He'll say, go shine, I've got your back. Because real love doesn't fear freedom, it flows with it. And for the women who've been told to tone it down, Don't. For the women who've been told they're too much, you're not. You're just enough for the life you're meant to lead. You are not made to be someone's shadow. You are the sun. And just because you shine alone doesn't mean you're against the sky. People will try to tame you, label you, control you. But remember this, independence is not disrespect, it is self-respect. It is looking at the mirror and saying, I am enough. Not because someone told you, not because someone gave you permission, but because you decided it for yourself. That power, that choice, that's not rebellion, that's revolution. And revolutions don't apologize for being loud. They don't beg to be accepted. They change everything simply by refusing to stay quiet. She wore the wedding dress, not a straitjacket. She said, I do, not I'm done. Yet somewhere, somehow, society began to whisper, you're a wife now, tone it down, stay in your lane, don't dream too loud, don't shine too bright. That is the slow erosion of identity that too many women experience silently after marriage. But let this be the fire in your soul. Being married doesn't mean you stop being you. Marriage is not the end of your individuality. It's not the graveyard of your identity. It's supposed to be a partnership, not a prison. A union of two people, not the cancellation of one. And yet, countless women are made to feel like once that ring slides onto their finger, they're supposed to erase themselves. Like their desires, their passions, their goals suddenly become irrelevant. Why does society applaud a woman for finding a husband, but guilt trip her for finding herself? Look at Meera, top of her class. She was known for her fierce voice in debates, her wild ideas for changing the world. She wanted to be a journalist, travel, tell stories that mattered. Then marriage happened. Her husband, a good man, but conditioned. He wanted a wife, not a visionary. The moment she said she wanted to cover stories overseas, he said, what will people say? The moment she brought up her dreams again, he said, you're not that girl anymore. And in that silence, something broke inside her. Not because he yelled, but because she slowly started disappearing. Here's the truth. Marriage should be where your dreams are protected, not buried. The world outside might try to dim you, but your home should be where your light is safest. You weren't born to just be a title wife. That's a role, not your entire existence. You are still the girl who loved to dance in the rain. You're still the girl who dreamed of writing books, of flying planes, of running her own company. You don't lose her when you become someone's partner. If anything, that's when she needs to be protected the most. If a man falls in love with your spark, why try to put it out once he has you? You fell in love with a woman with fire in her eyes. Don't ask her to dim that fire just to fit into a frame that makes you comfortable. A real marriage says, I love all of you, not just the part that caters to me. It's time we change the narrative. Marriage isn't the destination. It's just one chapter. You are allowed to grow in it, not shrink because of it. You can still go back to school after marriage. You can still start your business. You can still find your voice, even if it makes others uncomfortable. You can still say, I matter. There's nothing selfish about keeping your identity alive. It's not neglectful to want more. Wanting to explore your potential is not a betrayal of your spouse. It's a celebration of who you are. And let's be honest, a woman who forgets herself can never fully show up for anyone else. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Imagine this, your daughter one day gets married. Would you want her to dim herself to fit someone else's comfort? No? Then why are you doing that to yourself? Being married doesn't mean you lose the right to say, I want to go further. It doesn't mean you stop laughing loud, loving wild, or dreaming big. You don't stop being a force of nature just because you took someone's last name. You don't stop being you. And if anyone says otherwise, let them know. You were whole before, and you're whole now. A marriage is not what completes you. It's what walks beside your completeness. And if it doesn't support that, then it's time to ask yourself, are you in love or are you just disappearing beautifully? You're still allowed to chase sunsets. You're still allowed to sing your favorite songs. You're still allowed to say no. You're still allowed to say yes to yourself. Because the truest love never asks you to choose between marriage and meaning. It holds your hand while you chase both. Don't bury your brilliance under the burden of roles. You're not just someone's wife. You are still someone's daughter, someone's friend, someone's inspiration, and most importantly, you are still yours. The world doesn't need another woman who gave up on herself quietly. The world needs more women who chose to stay alive in their spirit, who chose to dance with their identity, even in a world that tells them to sit still. You don't stop being you just because you're wearing a Mangal Sutra or a wedding band. You don't stop being you because now you share a bed, a life, a home. You don't stop being you because traditions say sacrifice. You can love without losing. You can give without vanishing. You can stay in a marriage and still stand in your power. Because if being married means bearing your voice, then what are you really building? A home or a hall of silence? You were not born to disappear. You were born to be seen, to be heard, to be felt. You were born to be you. She gave up the job offer in another city so they could stay close to his parents. She changed her surname, her wardrobe, her priorities. She stopped dancing because it's not what a married woman should do. She stopped going on weekend trips with her friends. She traded loud laughter for soft silence. And when someone asked her why, she smiled and said, because that's what love is. That's what sacrifice is. But here's the question no one dared to ask. When did sacrifice start meaning erasure? Sacrifice is an act of love. It's choosing someone else's happiness without resentment. But when your dreams are shelved, when your voice gets softer every year, when your sparkle fades under the pressure of always being the good woman, that's not love. That's slow invisibility. There's a powerful difference between adjusting and disappearing. Compromise is when both sides bend a little. Erasure is when only one person is asked to vanish. Why is it that when we speak of sacrifice in marriage, it's always the woman who's expected to surrender? Why does society celebrate a woman for giving everything, but fall silent when she loses herself in the process? Let me tell you about Radhika. She was a lawyer with fire in her arguments and ambition in her bones. She got married to a man who said he loved her strength. But months later, he started saying things like, why do you have to work late? Why not take a break and focus on the house? At first, she tried to balance both. Then she gave in. Because she thought that's what being a wife means. Slowly, her identity faded behind grocery lists, play dates, and dinner parties she never wanted to host. One day, while watching a courtroom drama on TV, her eyes welled up. Not because the story was emotional, but because she couldn't remember the last time someone had asked her, what do you want? That's what happens when sacrifice becomes synonymous with silence, with submission, with surrender. But real love doesn't demand your disappearance. Real love sees your sacrifices and finds ways to give back. Real love says, I see how much you give. Let me protect what makes you you. If you have to kill your passion, mute your voice, shrink your presence in the name of sacrifice, that's not noble. It's tragic. Women have been romanticized for centuries as the selfless ones, the martyrs, the ones who burn their desires to keep everyone else warm. And yet, who takes care of the fire within her? Sacrifice should never mean losing your dreams in the shadows of someone else's comfort. It's okay to give. It's beautiful to compromise. But you do not owe anyone your complete erasure. The world already tried to erase so many women from history, from boardrooms, from dreams. Don't let it erase you from yourself. Let's shift the narrative. You can sacrifice a Sunday to support your partner's work. But don't sacrifice your entire identity. You can let go of one dream to make space for another, but don't give up on all of them. You can love with all your heart and still say, this part of me stays untouched. This part of me is mine. We need to stop teaching girls that being a woman means giving until you have nothing left. Because a woman who has nothing left, who has been erased, is not living. She's just surviving, existing in someone else's script. You were not born to be a footnote in your own story. Look around. The women who shine are not the ones who sacrifice everything. They're the ones who knew what was worth holding on to. They are the ones who said, yes, I'll give, but not me. Not my soul, not my fire. That's the kind of sacrifice that's sustainable. That's the kind of strength that doesn't fade. You can raise a family and still raise your voice. You can make tea in the morning and still chase deadlines by afternoon. You can wear sindoor and still wear ambition like armor. You can cook dinner with love and still hunger for a life that excites you. Sacrifice is not the absence of self. So the next time someone says you should sacrifice, ask them, am I still allowed to be seen, to be heard, to matter? If the answer is no, that's not love. That's control wrapped in cultural bows. And if someone truly loves you, they will never want your dreams to die just so theirs can live. They will find ways to weave your joy into theirs. They will celebrate the parts of you that don't conform. Because the beauty of a woman doesn't lie in how much she can erase, but in how boldly she holds on to her truth, even when the world tells her to let go. You don't need to disappear to be valued. You don't need to lose your colors to fit into someone else's frame. You don't need to fold yourself into smaller shapes to fit into a life that was never meant to cage you. Because sacrifice doesn't mean erasure. It means love with boundaries, giving with wisdom, standing tall even when you bend. She was told girls shouldn't laugh too loud, so she learned to cover her mouth while laughing. She was told, don't sit like that, you're a girl. So she crossed her legs even when it hurt. She was told too much confidence in a woman is dangerous. So she dimmed her light so others could shine. And just like that, lay by lay, society wrapped her in silence. But here's the truth no one tells you. Culture should shape you, not shrink you. Confidence is not rebellion. It's not arrogance. It's not Western. It's human. It's divine. It's the fire in your eyes when you speak your truth. It's the firmness in your voice when you say no. It's the grace in your walk, knowing you belong in every room you enter, even if no one else in that room looks like you, talks like you, or thinks like you. But cultures, especially in many parts of the world, often teach girls to shrink, to settle, to be sanskari, quiet, obedient. You're told that humility means invisibility, that dignity means silence. That self-worth is measured by how well you serve others, not how well you serve your soul. Let me tell you about Meera. Top of her class, bold in debates, brilliant in ideas. She dreamed of becoming a filmmaker, capturing the world through her lens. But the moment she turned 23, the whispers began. You're next. Not next to win awards, but next to get married. Her family told her, Beta, confidence is good, but too much of it, boys get intimidated. And just like that, her camera was replaced by a cooking apron. But how many Meeras do we see around us every day? Women who were once bold, curious, wild with wonder, and now are folded into roles they didn't choose, all in the name of tradition. You see, culture is beautiful when it celebrates you, but toxic when it cages you. Wear the sari, learn the rituals, dance at weddings, pray with folded hands, love your roots. But don't let your roots choke your wings. Confidence doesn't disrespect culture. Confidence is what breathes life into it. The women who walk with their head held high, who choose their own timelines, who speak with clarity, don't dishonor culture. They evolve it. Every time a woman dares to say, I deserve more, she's rewriting centuries of conditioning. That's not rebellion, that's resurrection. You have a voice, use it. You have a mind, trust it. You have power, own it. Don't let the auntie's stares or the uncle's raised eyebrows shrink your worth. Don't let the whispers behind your back determine the fire in your soul. There's a girl out there watching you. She sees how you walk into rooms, how you hold your ground. She listens when you say no without apology. She notices when you choose your dreams over their expectations. And she learns from you that confidence isn't shameful. It's sacred. We have enough women who say, I'll stay quiet for peace. We need more who say, I'll speak up for justice. We have enough who say, let me adjust. We need more who say, let me rise. Imagine this. A girl walks into her first job interview. She's told her voice is too loud. She smiles and says, it's the same voice that got me here. She's told to wear softer colors. She replies, my color doesn't change my capability. She's told not to be too ambitious. She says, ambition is not a man's monopoly. That girl is what the world needs. Culture told us to lower our gaze. Confidence teaches us to raise our standards. Culture said, don't dream too big. Confidence whispers, you were born to break ceilings. Culture said, stay in line. Confidence says, draw your own. Confidence is what makes a woman unforgettable. It's not about volume. It's about presence. It's not about arrogance. It's about knowing your worth, even when the world pretends you have none. Remember when they said, a good woman is always behind a successful man? Tell them, a great woman stands beside him, or above, if she's earned it. Your voice is not too loud, your dreams are not too much, your presence is not a threat, it's a mirror that reflects everything society tried to suppress. That's why they fear your confidence, because it exposes their insecurities, because it reminds them that you are not a product of permission, you are a force of purpose. Don't let the same culture that worships goddesses teach you to bow before men who don't respect you. Don't let the same society that tells you to be Devi also tell you not to speak your mind. Because a woman's confidence is an enemy of culture. It's the upgrade it desperately needs. So walk like you've got a legacy to build. Speak like your voice was made to shake rooms. Love your roots, but never let them tangle around your throat. Culture may be tradition, but confidence is your revolution. She was told, girls shouldn't laugh too loud. So she learned to cover her mouth while laughing. She was told, don't sit like that, you're a girl. So she crossed her legs even when it hurt. She was told, too much confidence in a woman is dangerous. So she dimmed her light so others could shine. And just like that, layer by layer, society wrapped her in silence. But here's the truth no one tells you. Culture should shape you, not shrink you. Confidence is not rebellion, it's not arrogance, it's not Western. It's human. It's divine. It's the fire in your eyes when you speak your truth. It's the firmness in your voice when you say no. It's the grace in your walk, knowing you belong in every room you enter, even if no one else in that room looks like you, talks like you, or thinks like you. But cultures, especially in many parts of the world, often teach girls to shrink, to settle, to be sansaki, quiet, obedient. You're told that humility means invisibility, that dignity means silence, that self-worth is measured by how well you serve others, not how well you serve your soul. Let me tell you about Meera. Top of her class, bold in debates, brilliant in ideas. She dreamed of becoming a filmmaker, capturing the world through her lens. But the moment she turned 23, the whispers began. You're next. Not next to win awards, but next to get married. Her family told her, Beta, confidence is good, but too much of it, boys get intimidated. And just like that, her camera was replaced by a cooking apron. But how many Meeras do we see around us every day? Women who were once bold, curious, wild with wonder, and now are folded into roles they didn't choose, all in the name of tradition. You see, culture is beautiful when it celebrates you, but toxic when it cages you. Wear the sari, learn the rituals, dance at weddings, pray with folded hands, love your roots, but don't let your roots choke your wings. Confidence doesn't disrespect culture. Confidence is what breathes life into it. The women who walk with their head held high, who choose their own timelines, who speak with clarity, don't dishonor culture, they evolve it. Every time a woman dares to say, I deserve more, she's rewriting centuries of conditioning. That's not rebellion, that's resurrection. You have a voice, use it. You have a mind, trust it. You have power, own it. Don't let the auntie's stares or the uncle's raised eyebrows shrink your worth. Don't let the whispers behind your back determine the fire in your soul. There's a girl out there watching you. She sees how you walk into rooms, how you hold your ground. She listens when you say no without apology. She notices when you choose your dreams over their expectations. And she learns from you that confidence isn't shameful, it's sacred. We have enough women who say, I'll stay quiet for peace. We need more who say, I'll speak up for justice. We have enough who say, let me adjust. We need more who say, let me rise. Imagine this. A girl walks into her first job interview. She's told her voice is too loud. She smiles and says, it's the same voice that got me here. She's told to wear softer colors. She replies, my color doesn't change my capability. She's told not to be too ambitious. She says ambition is not a man's monopoly. That girl is what the world needs. Culture told us to lower our gaze. Confidence teaches us to raise our standards. Culture said, don't dream too big. Confidence whispers, you were born to break ceilings. Culture said, stay in line. Confidence says, draw your own. Confidence is what makes a woman unforgettable. It's not about volume, it's about presence. It's not about arrogance, it's about knowing your worth, even when the world pretends you have none. Remember when they said a good woman is always behind a successful man? Tell them, a great woman stands beside him or above if she's earned it. Your voice is not too loud. Your dreams are not too much. Your presence is not a threat. It's a mirror that reflects everything society tried to suppress. That's why they fear your confidence, because it exposes their insecurities, because it reminds them that you are not a product of permission. You are a force of purpose. Don't let the same culture that worships goddesses teach you to bow before men who don't respect you. Don't let the same society that tells you to be Devi also tell you not to speak your mind. Because a woman's confidence isn't an enemy of culture, it's the upgrade it desperately needs. So walk like you've got a legacy to build. Speak like your voice was made to shake rooms. Love your roots, but never let them tangle around your throat. Culture may be tradition, but confidence is your revolution. You are not a title. Not just a Mrs. attached to someone's last name. Not just a mother, a wife, a daughter-in-law. You are a force. A storm wrapped in elegance, a hurricane in high heels, a universe that breathes fire, feels deeply and rises, even when the world tries to weigh you down with labels. From the moment you're born, society begins branding you. Good girl, obedient daughter, future wife. Your value starts getting measured by how quiet you are, how well you cook, how many people you serve. But let me ask you, when did your power become a checklist for someone else's comfort? You are not born to wear a title like a crown made of chains. You are the creator of titles. When you walk into a room, the energy should shift. Because real power isn't always loud, it's undeniable. It's in the way you stand tall after being told to sit down. It's in the way you smile after they tried to break you. It's in your silence that screams, I'm not here to impress, I'm here to impact. Think about Meera, a woman who once introduced herself as just a housewife. Her husband was a banker, her kids were her world, but one day someone asked her, what do you do? She smiled politely and said, nothing much. That night, she looked at herself in the mirror and asked, why did I shrink when I should have shined? She started painting again, something she loved as a child. She carved out 30 minutes a day while the house was still asleep. That passion grew. A year later, her artwork was being exhibited in galleries. People started calling her an artist. But what she realized was this. She didn't become powerful because others saw her. She became powerful the moment she saw herself. You are not the things people call you. You are the energy you radiate when you know who you are. Society loves neat boxes, wife, mother, sister, but you're the fire that burns the boxes down. You are not a supporting character in anyone else's life. You are the main event, the plot twist, the entire damn story. And it's okay to love your family deeply and still want more for yourself. Wanting more doesn't make you selfish. It makes you aware of your worth. Somewhere along the way, women were taught that ambition is arrogance, that self-love is ego, that independence is rebellion. But listen carefully. A woman who knows her worth is not rebellious. She's revolutionary. You don't need permission to rise. No one needs to approve your greatness before you claim it. You are not made of weakness. You are made of centuries of women who built empires with broken hands, who smiled through struggle, who danced while bleeding. You are every untold story, every silent scream, every dream that never made it out of someone else's kitchen. You are their legacy. And you are your own beginning. There's a woman out there right now watching others live boldly and thinking, I could never be that. To her I say, yes you can and you must. Because your life doesn't belong to the version of you that pleases everyone. It belongs to the version that makes you proud. You are not weak because you cry. You are not dramatic because you feel. You are not difficult because you say no. You are not arrogant because you say yes to yourself. Start claiming spaces that make you feel alive. Whether it's in business, art, science, fashion, motherhood, or all of them together. Start dreaming so loud that the world has no choice but to listen. Because when a woman stops introducing herself by the title society gave her and starts showing up as the force she was always meant to be, everything changes. You are not just here to exist. You are here to disrupt, to challenge the old narratives, to show the next generation that a woman's worth isn't in how small she makes herself for others. It's in how boldly she fills every room she walks into. Let your story be louder than their opinions. Let your vision be wider than their expectations. You were never meant to fit in their mold. You were born to break it. And if the world ever forgets what you're made of, remind them. You are not a title. You are a movement. You are the storm they didn't see coming. As we stand here today, let me remind you, you are not just a name on a piece of paper, a label, a passing title. You are not defined by the space you occupy, but by the energy you bring into it. You are not simply an accessory to anyone's story. You are the story. You are the author of your own fate, the force that pushes boundaries, the spark that ignites change, the revolution that begins in the hearts of women like you. Remember this, a woman who knows her worth cannot be diminished by anyone's attempt to shrink her. You were born with fire in your soul, with the courage to rise against all odds. When the world tells you to be small, to fit in, to lower your voice, you, my love, were born to stand tall, to speak your truth, to make your presence felt. Look at every woman who has ever achieved greatness. She wasn't quiet. She wasn't humble about her power. She embraced it. She wore it like armor. She wielded it like a sword. She knew that her value wasn't up for negotiation. She knew that her dreams didn't have to ask for permission. They had the right to exist. And guess what? So do you. Don't let anyone tell you that your dreams are too big or that your aspirations are too audacious. The greatest leaders, the most successful entrepreneurs, the most inspiring women in history didn't become great because they were perfect. They became great because they were relentless. They became great because they dared to go after what others told them was impossible. They built their empire from nothing, and they did it unapologetically. I want you to repeat after me. I am not afraid to shine. I'm not afraid to claim my space in this world. I will rise no matter how many times I fall. I will speak my truth even if my voice shakes. I will live my life not as a shadow of someone else, but as the radiant, unstoppable force that I am. Because let me tell you something. You don't need anyone's permission to take up space. You were born to take up space. You were born to break down walls. You were born to defy the odds. And as you do, don't apologize for it. Don't ever apologize for being too ambitious. Don't apologize for being too ambitious. Don't apologize for being bold, for being loud, for being strong. The world needs more women who aren't afraid to be unapologetically themselves. This is your moment. This is your time to redefine the rules, to push back against the limitations they've placed on you, to stand up and say, I am here, I am powerful, and I will not be ignored. The world is full of people who will tell you to be small. But here's the truth. Greatness doesn't come from shrinking. It comes from expanding. It comes from believing in your power, in your potential, in the woman you are becoming. And when the world tells you that you're too much, remember this. The world needs more of you. It needs the unapologetic you. The you who dares to dream beyond the horizon. The you who refuses to be limited by anyone's expectations. You are not just a woman. You are an empire in the making. Your strength is your weapon. Your courage is your shield. Your resilience is your crown. So today I want you to make a promise to yourself and to the world. Never dim your light for anyone. Never let them convince you that your power is a threat. Own your space. Own your greatness. Own your dreams. Stand tall, speak loud, keep pushing, keep rising, because no one can stop you. Unless you let them, and I know you won't. Your story is yours to tell and it will be legendary, so go out there and make it unforgettable. Keep dreaming, keep fighting, keep rising, because the world needs the woman you are becoming. And she is unstoppable.